What is poppin', beautiful people? It is your boy Jesimein, and today we're going to be doing a speed run information guide for returning players and for new players in regards to preparing themselves for the Division 2. So first things first, I'm going to make this as short, simple, and sweet as possible. I'm not going to go super deep, but I'm going to skim everything you pretty much need to know in order to craft your own journey within the game. So first things first, baseline. You need to get your base restoration to 100%, and the reason is because a lot of your abilities, if not, I mean all of your abilities and all of your talents, are locked behind these walls of grinding that you need to do in order to get all this, especially your master perks. So a lot of people who don't have 100% security won't get like the discharge ability where you're able to pop your sports station and get a heal. There's certain things that are locked behind grinding these missions out, and you need to be able to do that. As far as talents too as well, in order to get all your talents, you need to have your base at 100%. And the way to get your base 100% obviously is going to be grinding out missions that are color coded with the specific one. So you can see right here I have one left. It is a security wing one. They're just little side missions. They're not deep, extremely hard missions. You can do them solo, you can do them with a team. They're really quick. Go in and pop them out. You get 60 security ring supplies, and you would obviously go to security wing right here, open it up, and you would go and basically pay for it depending on how much points you have in order to get everything. So you can see behind every one of these, like the barracks, the dark zone ops, comes the skills and the rewards and the perks that come behind it. So what you want to do, obviously, first things first, is to max out your base, and this is while you're grinding through the main story and afterwards. So after you finally finish the general assembly is where it's really going to kick in. You don't want to have that because the end game content is kind of rough if you don't have this. So that's that. The next thing that's super important that a lot of people are questioning, as far as new players, obviously veteran players, you pretty much know this system, and that is the crafting, recalibration, and optimization system that's going to be in the terminal. So let me go right here so you can see right here. It's right behind the base of operations right here at the terminal. If I go right here, bear with me, this is live, so I want to make this as accurate as possible. So you can see right here, you have these three stations. Right here, you're going to have your crafting station. This is where you craft your mods and weaponry that you get blueprints based off of, depending if you get lucky. And, you know, if you found a gun in the shop that I'll show you right now, you can come and craft them here with tools and weapon parts that you can get from a lot of places, from deconstructing, from finding them in the DZ, and this, that, and the other. You would get pieces to craft with from here. As you can see, there's blueprints right here you can buy with Phoenix credits. Phoenix credits are currency you can get from finishing any mission and from killing bosses and all of that. So you'll be able to get this. It's not that hard. Some of them are really expensive, but it's pretty much unlimited. You'll be able to get the rolls that you need, especially if you're going for a certain god roll. You see this pretty much blueprint, and they're all gear score related. If you are end game, you want to only go for 256. Do not go for anything else, and you want to try to get mods that are I believe it's level 34. Going into the recalibration station, how this works is basically if you have a weapon and it has a talent that you don't like, you are able to roll one talent. So on weapons, it's one single talent you can re-roll for whatever you want, and as you roll it, it gets more and more expensive. It takes weapon kits, which you can buy from that vendor that I just showed you, and it also takes Phoenix credits that do stack up and get really expensive if you roll too much and don't get what you want. So make sure that you know that, you know what you're rolling. And with end game content, if you're at the point where you have classified gear, with classified gear, it's the same thing you can roll. It does not cost weapon kits, it just costs credits, but you also can roll two things on gear pieces, which is really cool because you pretty much get god roll whatever you want. It gives you a lot of capabilities. Most people have like a set roll pattern for everything, and I'll just explain this to you. A lot of people are going to ask. So with mask, you would pretty much want to have whatever your main roll is, and you want to have crit chance on it. With chest piece, you want to have health, and you can either have skill haste or enemy armor damage. Preferably it would be skill haste. With backpacks, you want to have it depends. Depending on the build, you can have crit damage or health rolled on it and whatever main stat. With gloves, you want to have obviously whatever your main damage is and crit chance and crit damage, unless you're running a different type of build that requires you having skill haste. Like, as you can see, my nomad ones have skill haste right there. And a holster, you always want to try to just max everything out. It doesn't really matter. Just always try to re-roll your lowest one, because then it's easier to optimize later, which I'll show you in a moment. So yeah, that's pretty much something to look forward to. And going to the optimization station, basically optimization after you have crafted your weapon. Let's say you rolled it to the talent you want, and now you want to max the weapon out or the gear pieces. Optimization, it's pretty much buffing everything. So any error or any room that you have to improve on the weapon, you can pay with division credits and Division Tech and credits at the same time. It's really expensive. This is the end game of end game as far as gears. You can see right here, my lightweight M4 has 3 bars that it can go up. And then don't get confused. Just because it says 3 bars does not mean 3 rolls. It goes up in increments depending on how much it is. You can see my house right here on the right side next to the damage. It's 4 bars green. On the submachine gun crit chance, it's 4 bars green, and the gear score is 4 bars green. That means it's fully optimized, and you can see how low this one is. So depending on how much money you have, it is super expensive. Use this wisely. Use this on your favorite build first. If you don't have any optimization yet, make sure that you put time into grinding out those credits in Division Tech. A really good way to get Division Tech, if you want to do that, is going to be doing the shields. I don't have a lot of shields done because I pretty much had everything. I only really did shields to get the Division Tech, but there's a lot of easy ways depending on, you know, if you are brand new, some of them are going to be a little bit tougher to get, but if you are a veteran, a lot of them are pretty much given to you off rip. I mean, they're not really hard, and there's a lot to go through. And each of these caches will give you an exotic weapon or a chance at exotic weapon and a 500 Division Tech, which is really good into optimizing your build. So look forward to that. Do those shields. These are super important. Really focus on these shields if you really have nothing to do towards end game, if you want to optimize your gear, because that's the fastest way to get Division Tech right now. Another thing a lot of people have been questioning are the different game modes. So you have survival. You can have a PvE form or PvP form. Survival is basically like a baby battle royale kind of survival type game where basically a lot of new factors are put into the game. You have to worry about how cold you are. You have to gear up and craft weapons and get into the DZ, get vials and extract and get out. It's pretty much like a lone man game. You can go in with your friends, and you can go in as straight PvE if you don't want to fight other players. You also have right here in the PvP section, you have Last Stand and Skirmish. Last Stand is like a domination mode if you're familiar with those kind of games. And you also have a Skirmish, which is just straight 4v4 team deathmatch. And you can get a lot of gear from both of these modes, so don't worry about wasting time. You feel like you're just having fun. You can get a lot of caches that go to your stash, that go to your expansion cache, that can give you a lot of things. You can even get classified gear out of it depending on your luck. And if you go over here, you have Underground, which is a straight PvE, I guess instance-based type of, how would I say this? It's basically a bunch of missions with different modifiers. Pretty much like a baby version of the Blackout global events, if you ever heard about that, which are over here, which is the fastest way to get classified. When these global events are online, this is when you want to be in the game. You want to do as much as you can to get these classified gear, which is the ones with the little folders. You can see like right here on this Final Measure vest, there's no little folder on the top right of it, but on this Lone Star vest, there's a little folder right here under the lock, so that shows you that it's classified. And basically, classifieds give you a 5 and 6 piece bonus, whereas the regular ones will not give you that. They only go up to 4. And a lot of people get confused in this because they feel like, oh, why isn't my build doing what they're doing? It's because it's not classified. Make sure that you have the classified set. It literally says it right here, as you can see on the right, Lone Star vest classified set, and you can see right here it just says gear set on the Final Measure vest. So make sure that you look at that. That is super important, especially if you are trying to differentiate the difference between whether what's classified or not. Another big tip a lot of people do not know, and I don't know why people have this problem. Maybe it's just not explained good enough, but right here you can see on my world tier, I am on world tier 5. A lot of people were confused on why they weren't getting better gear. You can see as you go down, the gear score changes, and that depends on the loot that drops. So if I have it on tier 2, this is the type of gear that's going to drop, and as you can see, it goes all the way up, and obviously the end game 256 plus will be tier 5. So make sure as soon as you hit level 30 and you finish the game and you want that real gear, go to tier 5. I'm not sure if it automatically goes there. I haven't leveled a character in a while to the point to see, but make sure just in case, make sure you're at tier 5 so you can get the end game gear, which gives you a chance at exotics and all that stuff. So that's something to look forward to. Now, as far as modding your weapons, a lot of people have their they have their preferences. I would say it's plain and simple. With some machine guns, you want to go for a lot of crit damage. If you're on PC, it's different. Headshots are more important in some instances, but for me, modding your weapons just based off of your play style, kind of. A lot of people would argue that crit damage is the best thing to go for, obviously, on subs, because you have high crit chance. You can see right here on my scope I have 19. On my grip, I have 17, and on my vent brake, I have 17. So I have a chunk of critical hit damage, which complements the critical hit chance that I get from submachine guns. And then if you are an AR person, you can do. I go with the same thing usually, but you can add a headshot damage. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like if you want to beam, it's more accurate. And the fact that it has enemy armor damage instead of crit chance, you can kind of go back and forth between the two. So modding weapons depending on their main stat. That's what I would say is if you're a newer player. Look towards the main stat, see what it is. You see crit chance, and you can see enemy armor damage, and on shotguns it's stagger. Mod based off that. Don't mod off of just throwing on whatever you can. There is an optimal way, a better way, but obviously it comes down to preference. Another new addition that they added, a lot of people didn't know, that didn't play a long time, is they added loadouts. So you're able to have up to 6 custom builds that you put. So how this works is if I create a build and I save it, it's going to be right here, and I can override it. You can name them a lot of things you can see right here. So in order to be organized, you can go through all these names. Like let's say if you have a Firecrest or a Hexo, Exotic, or High-End Hunter's Faith, Classified, they even have a difference between the two. You can put your builds, and you can switch to these pretty much at any time when you're out of combat. Remember that. So if people are trying to, if you're in the middle of a fight, you can't just go from like a Nomad build to a D3 build and think that it's going to switch on the fly. It only works when you're out of combat, and it only works when your skills are all refreshed to the point where there's no cooldown. So keep that in mind. But any other time you can switch, do it freely as long as you have space in your stash, and this is perfect. I'm glad I don't. So you can see right here, if you can't switch, it's because you have too much stuff in your inventory. You want to clear that out, and you'll be able to switch to it just fine. So yeah, that's that. Now let me go into I guess the meta real quick, just so you guys know. This is where it gets kind of opinionated, but I mean, general consensus would say that Nomad is the easiest, but this will be the easiest build to use in the game at the current point in time, I believe. Solo and in group, because it gives you extra lives. So if you are interested, if you're that person and you just want the easiest time in the game, I would say go for Nomad. You may get a lot of hate for it, but in theory, this would be the strongest build as far as easiness. I don't want to like promote it or nothing, but just realistically, I'm making this for returning players, new players, and I have to get you guys up to speed. So if you guys come across an agent that you killed and you thought he was going to die, but his health came back, he's running Nomad. So just make sure you look out for that. And there's a lot of other builds that work. As far as diversity, there is a lot of diverse builds. Like this D3 build is amazing if you're a shield person. There's support builds. There's super strong DPS builds you can run. There's a lot of builds you can run depending on what gear set you have. Make sure you collect all 6 pieces so you can have the ultimate option in order to switch out what you need to. But as far as meta, I would say Nomad, Predator, D3, Final Measure, and Banshee are the ones that you're gonna have to really deal with and actually have to struggle against at sometimes. And Predators mark every now and then. So that's just throw that out there. I don't want to go too deep into the PvP. If you guys want more questions on that, I can give you information on that. I'm just trying to get the general idea down for you guys so you guys can pretty much know what's going on as far as that. So if I go over here, there's also another instance for PvE. You have weekly and daily HVTs, which are just missions basically based off of your target intel. You see I have 400, so depending on how much of these I do, it takes away from that 400 target intel, and you see you can get a lot of experience and Phoenix credits and gear from this. So if you're just trying to get a quick gear up, you can get some friends, get in here, and based off the difficulty, you can see at the bottom right how hard they are and how much you can get from it based on the difficulty of the mission. So that's just something to look at if you want some extra gear right here. The easiest way to get gear right now, I would say, if you're a PvPer and you just want to go in and out, I would say run a lot of skirmish matches. Those just get you quick. They're quick games, in and out, get you a lot of caches. You'll be good. If you want more of a relaxed PvP and PvE experience, I would do survival. If you are a straight PvE person, you have 2 options. There's also a game mode called Resistance up here at the top left. There's probably going to be a mission you have to do in order to get this unlocked, or you have to pretty much visit Camp Clinton in order to unlock these. And this is like a zombies mode in a sense. If you play Call of Duty, it's a wave-based mode where they keep coming. There's little baby objectives in it, and you can get a lot of good loot out of this. So make sure you look at that. It's called Resistance, and I would recommend you do it with a team, especially because it does get tough in the later rounds. Now, talking about the Dark Zone. If you do not know about the Dark Zone, this is for the new players. The Dark Zone is basically a place where you can get a lot of loot from, but you can also lose the very loot that you get. There's a bunch of landmarks within the DZ that you can go after. You can kill the bosses at each landmark, and you can check all the chests and stuff. You can see the division tech and weapon parts and a lot of things you can get out the Dark Zone. The only thing that you have to really worry about losing is the gear that you pick up. So like, let's say you clear out a landmark and it gives you a weapon, automatic inventory. You don't have to worry about losing it, so it does not matter. Even if you get shot and have to deal with a bunch of agents griefing you, you will be good. But if you do find something on the floor, make sure you check around. If you do not want to PvP, try to get into a safe position, call that extraction, and try to get that loot out of there. Obviously, the people who have played the game, you guys know how the Dark Zone works. There's nothing really new to that, besides the fact that they added a DZ. I don't remember if it was DZ 6, 7, 8, and 9. I believe it was these 4 that were added on. And basically, for the people who are coming here to farm, these are going to be the premier 4 you want to be in order to get the best gear out of the DZ. You have a better chance of getting classified drops up here than you do in the lower DZ, so make sure you be on that. Another really good tip a lot of people just don't pay attention to is your gear mods. You want to try to have your firearms or stamina or electronics with health. A lot of people could say there's different ways to run it depending on your build, I would say, but the general ones you want to have health on, and you want to try to get them, either get lucky and buy them from this vendor and craft them, or you can get super lucky, and depending on the vendor reset, you can hit all of the safe houses and all the checkpoints and check and see which vendors are actually selling them, so you can just buy the mods and not have to worry about rolling for them and wasting a lot of resources. So do not waste your resources if you don't have to. Check the vendor reset videos, go through it. If there's none, if nobody posted any, go through it so you can see for yourself. These are random supply drops right here. These are pretty much safe. These are pretty much like the Dark Zone ones, except you're 100% good. You are guaranteed to get whatever loot out of here. I'm not sure what the loot pool is on these, but if you want to get free loot, you can go in your open world. You can gather up some friends, they can come in, they can help you, and you can get this supply drop and get your loot. Another good thing that a lot of people do not know that are brand new is there are name bosses throughout the open world that you can hit. I wish I can put like a little map on, but you can just search it. Search in open world DZ or open world division bosses, and people, there's a lot of maps out there that you can get, and they each can give you a chance at a classified weapon or classified gear and exotic weapon. So they're all throughout the light zone. It's kind of like a, you can literally wrap around and probably hit like 10 of them, so make sure that you hit that. So yeah, that's pretty much the basis on what you need as far as being caught up. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what can I possibly tell you guys? Also, okay, I guess I can add this, even though it's pretty much self-explanatory, but the talents you guys can see right here, it says requirements. So if your requirements do not meet these talents will not be active. You can still use the gun, it'll still do whatever the base damage is, but it just won't have these talents. You want to make sure that you put these on. The third talent after, when you're in high-end gear, which is gold and up, which is going to be gold and red pretty much as far as weaponry, the third talent is always going to be free, so regardless of what you have, it's going to be given to you. So if you have 2 good rolls at the top and you're going to go recalibrate, just remember the third one's a free no matter what it is, even if it's like an electronic talent. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're rolling. And if you have an exotic weapon, exotic weapons also come with that free talent, but they cannot be re-rolled. So if you find a gun, as you can see with the Cassidy, it's boomstick, I can't re-roll that. And the showstopper, it's going to be showstopper, I can't re-roll that. Those are things you cannot change, so you're going to change the top 2 when you are re-rolling. So depending on what it is, you can't change it. If it's red, you're not going to be able to change it. If it's yellow, you'll be able to change it freely, and you can only roll 1 at a time. Always remember that. As far as classifieds, it will always be 2. Coming into the global events are periodic events that come, and based off of whatever global event it is, it's going to give you different free classified gear sets. Not free in the sense that they're handing them to you, but you're guaranteed to go after these. So how this works is a bunch of missions, the entire game will have a modifier based off the global event, and it'll show right here which gear set. So as of right now, the last one had D3, Deadeye, Striker, and Tactician, and a Superior Season 5 cache, which is like a chance at either of them, and an exotic. So you do missions, you gather up, and you also get all your currencies, you get your finish credits, you get your credits, but you also get these global credits, which are going to go towards these caches in order to help you get those guaranteed classifieds, which are the end game of endgame gear. So this is the best way to get, like, let's say I'm farming for Deadeye, this is 100% the most optimal way to get Deadeye is to grind out these global event coins and you know, and buy them, and hopefully you get all 6. So it is random. It's not like if you buy 6 you're gonna get 6. You want to be able to buy them, get it, and hopefully get the 6 eventually within the time, which is pretty much 99% of the time you're gonna get the full gear set if you keep grinding it. So and it always makes the game easier because it's a modifier that could make it a little tough on you, but more than likely the agents get a better advantage than the NPCs because of the buffs that it's been. So that's that. Going into cosmetics, if you are curious to how to get masks based off the global event, those are going to be the way you get the mask. I don't have all the masks. I only have the ones I really like that I went for, but you can definitely go and grind out the masks. Every time a global event pops up, that's another chance to get the mask. That is the only way that I know to get masks as of right now. Maybe they'll change it, or maybe they're at it. I don't know. I highly doubt it. But as far as if you want masks, you don't want to walk around maskless like my man right here. You want to be able to grind those global events when it comes. And you can also get a lot of clothing from here. These you can either choose to buy, or you can choose to grind out the game and just get you encrypted keys in order to get you that. I'll just open one just so you can see. Let's open up this one right here. This is what it looks like when you open it. It'll pop open 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. And it'll give me something I don't have or I have. You can choose to inspect it, look at it. You see right here, that's the shirt. Let's say I like it, I equip it, and boom, it's in my inventory. And well, I have a jacket on so you can't see it, but if you go right here and go to appearance, you can see you can go through all your clothing, equip it, put it on, and then you have your clothing. So a lot of the cool clothing that you see, you will be able to get it from here. It is a random loot pool, so make sure that if you're gonna go for it, buy the right cash if you're looking for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed. Right now it is a stamina meta, so stamina is super strong. It is the strongest that you can pretty much do right now. It's the strongest out of the 3. DPS is important, but stamina is obviously the kingpin right now. So if you are rolling builds, hitting those stamina marks are really important. Like Predator, in order to get the ability, it's 9,000 stamina. Nomad, in order to get the ability, or in order to be super strong, it's 9,000 stamina. Striker, in order to get the main ability, it's 9,000 stamina. It's a lot of 9,000 stamina requirements this time around, and it's pretty much going to be like that forever. So it's definitely going to be a stamina way to go. If you guys have any deeper questions, you guys want to know anything else, if I didn't cover it, feel free to let me know. I don't really think I missed anything that can be vital. Besides incursions. Incursions are like baby raids, and they pretty much guarantee you classified. So like, let's say you want to get a guaranteed classified no matter what, you can go and run a legendary mission, or you can run one of these missions where that are called incursions, which are the most difficult form of missions, and they also give you a free exotic cash. They give you a weapon, equipment item, body armor, and holster, Phoenix credits, XP, and regular credits. So you can get a lot from doing these. Get a team and get in there. So pretty much it, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this speed course. I know it wasn't super fast, but I mean, Division has a lot of stuff that they added that people really didn't know. So, but that's pretty much all the vital stuff. And if you are a veteran player, we do have a bathroom now that we can go and change our agents look right here. Boom, you go here and change that right here. Bow. So if you want to change your look and start brand new, here it is. So you can come back here and change your accessories and stuff. So it's pretty much it, you guys. Hopefully you guys are up to speed. Hopefully this is enough for the new players that are kind of learning the game to get a little edge on what what is what, and without me missing anything. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. My beautiful subscriber base will help you, and I will try to do my best to help your questions. But drop them below so I can nail it. You know what I'm saying? And if you have any if you want a deep straight PvP or a deep straight endgame PvU video, let me know if that too, and I'll drop one for y'all. So I love y'all, appreciate y'all. I see y'all in Division 2. It's Beer Real. Your boy is out.